So first of all, Jon, welcome to Bristol Rovers Football Club. What made you want to come here?
Various amounts of reasons, really. Obviously, the main one being Darrell Clark, the manager. Obviously, working with him previously, knowing exactly what I'm going to get, knowing what my responsibilities and my roles are going to be, and know that it's a good opportunity for me to continue my development and be part of a successful journey with a club that's ready to rebuild, and really happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, you mentioned it there, the club, but from the outside looking in, what do you make of Bristol Rovers?
Well, Bristol Rovers is a big club. It's full of tradition. It's got a fantastic fan base. It's got a difficult stadium to go and play in. I know that as being a player and a coach coming down there. So yeah, it's got all the makings of being a real project, I think, with the ownership group and the things that they're doing around the training ground and the things that are planned for the next couple of years. And it's an exciting time for the club, and I think it's something that you want to get in at this point because it gives you an opportunity to really be part of it.
Yeah, 700 games in your playing career. What made you want to move into coaching?
I think a lot say it's just a natural progression, but I think that the closer I got to the end of my playing career, took a lot more interest in the coaching aspect of it, and felt it was somewhere where, having played that many games over 20 years, that knowledge is priceless, and I think that it's important that that's passed on, and I can help the younger players get to the position that I got to, help them develop. And I think, again, that's always been key to my coaching. I went straight to the States because I wanted something fresh and different and new. I didn't want to get stuck into the same routine that I'd had as a player, and I think that, again, put me out of my comfort zone a little bit, and it was difficult, but I think that certainly improved me as a coach and got me to the position that I am now.
Yeah, you mentioned the States there. Talk us through your coaching career so far and how it shaped you.
Yeah, so I finished playing when I was at Harrogate. Straight from that, I'd already organised to go out to the States to Hartford Athletic in Connecticut. I was working under Harry Watlin, a really good young coach, and it was a perfect opportunity for me to just learn the ropes a little bit and then getting amongst it and getting that environment. I'd already done my coaching badges, so I knew I was ready for that opportunity. Again, like I mentioned before, it was about a new experience, something different, very different things to deal with in terms of the travel was difficult, altitude, playing at certain places, New Mexico and Colorado. So there was lots of aspects of it that were totally different to my playing career, and I felt that was important. After a short spell there, I went down to Tampa Bay with Neil Collins as his assistant head coach there. Again, fantastic place to live. Took my family there. It was a real family experience, and again, another opportunity to really learn my craft and keep improving as a coach. With Neil getting a Barnsley job, he asked me to come with him, which I jumped at the opportunity. Some people questioned me going from Tampa to Barnsley, but it was always going to be a career journey for me and try and get me to the top level, and it was a great move. And again, we had brilliant experiences at Barnsley, and further down the line led me to working with Daryl. And I've gone through a full sort of aspect of coaching, from doing individual strikers at Huddersfield and Sheffield United to going through to doing pretty much everything with Neil, and then doing a lot of the in possession, and then finally finishing with set pieces while Conor Horan was in charge. So I've had a real broad spectrum in terms of things that I've worked on, and I think now putting all that together is really important, and the in possession will be certainly stuff that I'll continue to focus on here at Bristol Rovers.
Yeah, you mentioned Darrell Clarke there. How important was he for you to coming here, but also what's your connection like?
Yeah, well, it's good. You know what you're going to get with Darrell. I think everybody knows that. He's obviously a legend here, so it's difficult to follow him with anything because he's a live wire. He's a fantastic man manager. He knows how to get the best out of players. He's a serial winner. He's got promotions at this level, obviously with this club as well. So it's just one of those where he's just somebody that's extremely infectious to be around, and I think that's why the fans take so well to him. That's why the players love him, and he's great to work with. He lets me get on with my job. We have a fantastic relationship. We've known each other for years, actually. Not really well, but we've crossed paths a lot with his Hartlepool days and back in the day. But this is the first time I've worked with him, obviously, at Barnsley, and we got on really well. So it just, with my time coming to an end at Barnsley, it seemed like a perfect fit, and I was delighted when he gave me the call.
Yeah, how important is that connection between you and Daryl to have a successful spell here?
Yeah, really important. I think it's important that Daryl gets the support that he needs. I think everybody will be pulling him from every direction because they want something from him. It's a bit different for me with being the assistant. I'm giving him everything, so I need to make sure I'm there for him, supporting him, questioning him a lot at times, and making sure that we have that relationship where we test and we drive and we look to improve each other. And we've had that, and again, this is why I'm here. And I know he can bring out the best of me, and I know I can help him get to the places that he wants to get. So it's just about having that mutual respect for each other, having somebody that you can trust and somebody that gives you the freedom to work on the training ground, which again for me is paramount.
Yeah, you mentioned the work on the training grounds here. What do you want from the players?
It's a bit cliche, but it's going to be hard work. You know, this team is going to be built on players that all run through that wall for the manager and for the football club. There'll be an extremely I don't want to say, well, it'll be disciplined. You know, it'll be a disciplined start to the pre-season. There's going to be standards set from day one, and we expect the players to follow that. And on the flip side, us as a staff will follow that as well, and it'll be led by Daryl. He's extremely keen to put his stamp on the players that are already here, but then obviously bringing some new faces as well, and I'm sure there'll be other additions in terms of staff as well. So, you know, it's a real fresh start, and I think the way that this club, the mentality that we're going to have, the resilience that we're going to have, and that sort of togetherness is going to be, you know, evident from day one. And I think even in pre-season we'll see that coming through. You
mentioned everyone being together there. What are your ambitions whilst at Bristol Rovers?
Well, to be successful. You know, we want to be successful. We want to put you know, I know Daryl will have already says all this, but like, we want to put a team on the pitch that represents the people, the Bristol Rovers supporters, and just, you know, put a real pride in wearing the shirt. And I think, again, a lot of these things are all cliche, and until we produce it on the pitch, it's a load of nonsense. I know that, but we'll be working hard every day to make sure that becomes a reality, and they see that you know, translating through the players and out into the members, because it's going to be some atmosphere there come the first game of the season. And I think that we want to have a product on the pitch that represents that and sort of embodies that excitement, and we want to be successful. You know, we want to be successful, and we want to get back into League One and go beyond that.
Yeah. And finally, you mentioned it there, the fans at the Member. How excited are you to meet them, see them, and be in the home dugout?
I'm very happy to be in the home dugout. Yeah, it's a very intimidating place to go, but fantastic tradition at the stadium. It's got a real old school feel about it, and I cannot wait to get out there and obviously you know, make sure we get those lads in a good frame of mind, and you know, like I say, they put on that product for the supporters to really buy into, which I'm sure they will, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.